Let me tell y'all something. One of the biggest roadblocks standing between you and your success is your own mind. Yeah, that's right. It ain't your boss. It ain't your past. It ain't even your haters. It's you. More specifically, it's that habit of overthinking every little thing. Overthinking is like a rocking chair. It gives you something to do, but it doesn't take you anywhere. You sit there running every scenario through your mind, analyzing every little detail, questioning every decision, and by the time you're done, you're exhausted, but still in the exact same place. It's a mental trap, and once you fall into it, it's hard to climb out. Some people think overthinking is a form of preparation, but let's be real, it's not. Preparation means you make a plan and take action. Overthinking means you sit there, doubting yourself, replaying past mistakes, and worrying about things that may never happen. And what does that get you? Stress, frustration, and wasted time. The worst part is, overthinking doesn't just slow you down, it stops you altogether. How many times have you talked yourself out of a good idea because you overanalyzed it? How many opportunities have you missed because you kept waiting for the perfect moment? Overthinking creates problems that didn't even exist in the first place. You'll start imagining obstacles, assuming failure, and before you know it, you've convinced yourself not to even try. It also affects your peace of mind. When you overthink, you carry the weight of things that aren't even real yet. You're worried about people's opinions, afraid of making mistakes, stressing over what ifs, and none of that is helping you move forward. Instead of using your mind as a tool to solve problems, you're using it to create them. You ever notice how kids don't overthink? When they want something, they go for it. They don't sit around asking, what if I fail? They just act. But as we get older, we start letting fear creep in. We start playing it safe, doubting ourselves, worrying too much. And all that does is keep us from living the life we were meant to live. Too many people spend their time and energy worrying about things that are completely out of their control. They stress over how other people feel about them, what someone else is doing, or whether things will go exactly as planned. But the truth is, no matter how much you think about it, wish for it, or try to force it, you cannot control everything. Life has a way of moving on its own terms, and trying to control things that aren't yours to control will only leave you frustrated and exhausted. You can't control how someone treats you, but you can control how you respond. You can't control what opportunities come your way, but you can control how prepared you are when they do. You can't control the setbacks that life throws at you, but you can control whether you let them stop you or use them as fuel to push forward. The moment you stop fighting for control over everything is the moment you take your real power back. Think about how much energy is wasted stressing over things that are out of your hands. You can't control the economy, but you can control how you manage your money. You can't control whether people support you, but you can control how hard you work. You can't control time, but you can control how you use it. When you start shifting your focus to what you can do instead of what you can't, your life changes. Too often, people get stuck because they're waiting for everything around them to be perfect. They're waiting for people to change, for the situation to improve, for everything to line up just right. But none of that is up to you. What is up to you is what you do with what you've got. Focusing on what you can control means putting your energy into your actions, your mindset, your habits, and your faith. That's where real progress happens. Fear is one of the biggest reasons people stay stuck, and overthinking is just fear disguised as logic. When people overthink, they convince themselves they're being careful, weighing their options, or planning ahead. But in reality, they're just letting fear talk them out of action. Fear makes you second-guess yourself, replay worst-case scenarios, and come up with excuses that sound like valid reasons. It's not that you don't know what to do. It's that you're afraid of what might happen if you do it. Fear doesn't always show up as panic or anxiety. Sometimes it shows up as perfectionism. You keep telling yourself you'll start when you have more information, when you're more skilled, or when the timing is right. But the truth is, deep down, you're just scared of failing. Fear convinces you to keep gathering information instead of taking action. It makes you believe you need more time when what you really need is courage. Overthinking and fear work together to keep you from moving forward. Every time you let doubt creep in, every time you question whether you're good enough, every time you worry about what other people will say, you're giving fear more power. And the more power you give it, the harder it is to break free. Instead of stepping out on faith, you stay stuck in your head, and before you know it, you've talked yourself out of something that could have changed your life. The mind is powerful, but it can either be your best friend or your worst enemy. When fear takes control, your mind starts working against you. It fills you with hesitation, uncertainty. It magnifies problems that don't exist and makes challenges seem bigger than they really are. But here's the thing, fear is a liar. It exaggerates, it distorts, and it keeps you from seeing what's possible. The longer you listen to it, the more you believe it, and the more you believe it, the more you'll stay exactly where you are. Worrying doesn't change anything, but action does. Too many people sit around stressing about what could go wrong instead of focusing on what they can do right now. They overthink, they hesitate, and they wait for the perfect moment. But the truth is, nothing moves until you do. Overthinking keeps you in your head, but action moves you forward. When you focus on taking action, you stop giving fear and doubt so much power. Instead of worrying about whether something will work out, you start figuring out how to make it work. Instead of replaying mistakes in your mind, you start learning from them and moving on. Action creates momentum, and momentum builds confidence. The more you do, the more you believe in yourself, and the more you believe in yourself, the less control fear has over you. A lot of people think they need motivation to take action, but the truth is, action creates motivation. You don't wait until you feel inspired to start. You start, and then inspiration follows. Small steps lead to big results, but you'll never see progress if you stay stuck in overthinking. The most successful people aren't the ones who never feel fear or doubt. They're the ones who take action anyway. They don't wait until they have everything figured out. They start where they are and figure it out as they go. Every minute spent overthinking is a minute you could have spent building, growing, or moving forward. The longer you sit on an idea, the more likely you are to talk yourself out of it. But when you take action, even in small ways, you start proving to yourself that you're capable. You start seeing results, and those results push you to keep going. The only way to break free from the cycle of overthinking is to replace it with action. Stop worrying about what might go wrong and start focusing on what you can do right now. Every step forward, no matter how small, puts you closer to where you want to be. There's a reason why overthinking makes life feel so heavy. It's because you're trying to figure out things that aren't meant for you to carry alone. Some things are outside of your control for a reason. You weren't meant to have all the answers, and you weren't meant to map out every single detail of your future. That's not your job. Your job is to move forward with faith even when you don't have all the pieces. Too many people let doubt and worry take over their minds because they're afraid of uncertainty. They want to know exactly how everything will turn out before they take the first step. But life doesn't work like that. Sometimes you won't see the full picture until you start walking the path. Overthinking won't give you the answers that only experience can. The only way to truly know what's possible is to step out and see for yourself. Faith is the antidote to fear. When you trust that there's a plan bigger than what you can see, you stop feeling the need to control every detail. You stop letting fear dictate your decisions. You stop holding yourself back because of what ifs. Faith gives you the courage to act even when you don't have guarantees. It gives you the confidence to take risks even when you don't have every answer. Overthinking is exhausting because it's fueled by the need for certainty. But faith is freeing because it allows you to move forward without needing to see the whole staircase. When you believe that everything is working in your favor, even when you can't see how, you start making decisions based on possibility instead of fear. You stop focusing on problems and start looking for solutions. You stop hesitating and start moving. There will always be unknowns. There will always be moments when things don't make sense. But that's when faith matters most. Trusting in a bigger plan allows you to let go of unnecessary stress and focus on what's in front of you. It helps you shift from overthinking to action, from fear to confidence, from doubt to belief. Breakthroughs don't happen in your head. They happen when you move. Too many people spend their time thinking about what they want instead of going after it. They analyze, they hesitate, they wait for the perfect time, but the truth is the perfect time never comes. The only way to make progress is to take action, even when you don't feel ready. Overthinking is a trap because it convinces you that you're doing something when you're really just stalling. You think you're preparing, but all you're doing is delaying. You think you're being cautious, but really you're letting fear hold you back. And the longer you stay in that cycle, the harder it is to break free. At some point, you have to decide that you're done waiting and start moving. Success isn't about having all the answers before you start. It's about learning as you go. The people who achieve their goals aren't the ones who never make mistakes. They're the ones who take action despite their doubts. They understand that failure isn't the end, it's just part of the process. Every step forward, even the small ones, brings you closer to where you want to be. The most dangerous thing about overthinking is that it makes you comfortable with inaction. You get so used to sitting in your thoughts that you forget what it feels like to take a risk. But nothing changes until you do. You don't build confidence by thinking about success. You build confidence by taking steps toward it. You don't create opportunities by waiting for the right moment. You create opportunities by moving forward even when you're unsure. Momentum is built through action. The more you move, the more doors open.